Hello, welcome everybody back to Holistic Cat Care Live Q&A with me, Pam with Purrrfectly Holistic. I am excited to be with you guys tonight. We're going to do a live show here and just support you, the cat parent, learning about how to use a more holistic approach for whatever ails your cat, whether it's emotional, physical, spiritual, because guess what? They struggle with all of those things just like we do. So if you are piling in, awesome. Take your time coming on in. Let me know where you're watching from. I love to say hi to people, and I'm going to put the comments up over here. We're streaming on our StreamYard page. I'm sorry, on YouTube and Instagram. I can see your comments tonight as well, and I'm on Facebook as well. So if you are watching and you want to drop a comment or a question, go over to any one of those, so Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, because I can see all your comments tonight, and I'm happy to kind of walk through whatever questions and whatever support you guys might need. So I can't believe it's April 1st, so happy April, everyone. And I have a big announcement to make today. So I'm gonna let people continue to kind of jump on in before I make that big announcement, but it is a very important one. So yes, it is April, and I know in some places there's a lot of cats struggling with itching and things like that. So I'm going to briefly talk about ways that you can help with homeopathy for like allergies, respiratory allergies, as well as itching if your cat's itching a little bit. And I also want to remind you guys that it's important to find the root cause. So if you're not sure, go do like a physical checklist and go through your house and look at all of your cleaning products. Is there anything in there, even if it's you know, like safe? I know like some brands or grocery store brands might say free and clear and things like that. Doesn't mean that it doesn't have chemicals in it. So just because it doesn't have fragrance doesn't mean that there aren't sulfates in there that can be very irritating and cause a lot of itching and irritation to the skin. So look at your laundry products, look at your cleaning products, go with ingredient lists that are very short. If you're starting to get a bunch of words in there that you can't even pronounce, I encourage you to Google every single one of those and know what it is that's in that product. Because again, if it's affecting your cat, it's also affecting you, and you may not even realize it. That's the thing we have to remember. Think of our cats as like the canary in the coal mine. When things start to go off the rails with them, we need to look at ourselves too and just take a little inventory, like, okay, how am I feeling? How is my body? How is my immune system? How is my gut and digestion? A lot of times our pets will mirror us, or they'll mirror things to us that we need to focus on. So it's just a really good reminder. I'm going to come over here to Instagram and I'm going to wave at Vicky. How are you? It's so much fun to connect with people. Okay, so let's talk real quick about allergies, since we're in allergy season. And again, if you have questions or comments, drop them over here in the chat, because that's why we're here. Okay, so allergies. Whose cat is scratching a lot and itching? Did they go outside? If so, it could be things like weeds and grasses and pollens. I know down here in Texas, Central Texas right now, we're having issues with plantain. At least where I live, a lot of plantain pollen. In some places, ragweed is bad, so that's not surprising. And then we have oak blooming all around us, so that can be a trigger for some cats who have respiratory issues. So look at the trees around your property or in your vicinity. Oak is really blooming right now, so there could be a lot of pollen related to that. I know in some parts of Houston, the sweet gum trees are blooming right now, so that could be an issue. And it's just going to continue to progress as we get through spring and into summer. So grasses continue to be an issue if you are in an area where there's a lot of grass. That kind of waxes and wanes through the whole allergy season. Grasses don't really bother pets all year long. Maybe more dogs if they're out there in the, running around in the grass. So keep those things in mind. When it comes to things like sneezing, that can be allergens. It can be your air quality. It can be things like your air fresheners. It can be dust. So, this is a great time of year to think about spring cleaning. When was the last time you did some spring cleaning? And is there a lot of dust, in the air because of the cleaning? Sometimes when we start to, deep clean the house, we forget that the dust particles are just going everywhere. I know this happened to me when I moved and I was packing things. So, you're disrupting all the stuff in the house. And so dust gets everywhere. It goes in boxes, you unpack, and here it comes all out again. So yeah, it can be a thing. It can be just simple dust. So maybe some air purification systems, change your air filter vents in your AC. Those are really good things to it's a good reminder. This is a time of year to do those kinds of things. So some homeopathy that you can use, if this is specifically what I'm seeing a lot with cats these days. So if they're itching a lot and there's a lot of allergens in the air from outside, maybe you had your windows open, just remember, even if your cat doesn't go outside, every time you open that window or open that door or you come in from the outside, you're pulling in those molecules. They're coming in through air. So we don't live in a bubble. It's just going to happen. So phosphorus 30C is a great one to keep on hand. That's what I see most of the time. It's indicated for these cats that are itching because of allergens in the air. If they're sneezing, if they're just sneezing, maybe arsenicum album is a great remedy to keep around and try some of that. If they're starting to have a lot of sinus issues, mucus, maybe some runny nose, if their eyes are watering and they're sneezing, it's going to be Euphrasia 30C that I would reach for. If they are having a lot of phlegm and hard swallowing, look at Calibicromium 30C. If it's really severe with the phlegm and a lot of maybe some sinus congestion, things like that, maybe some sneezing and sinus congestion and a lot of phlegm, I would look at Sabadilla 30C. So those are like some biggies. Now, and this can be for you as well. So maybe you struggle with these kinds of things. So if you have severe sinus congestion and like nothing, you can't even blow your nose, there's nothing happening there, there's no airflow, look at Lycopodium 30C. That one's a great one to have on hand. If you have a cat that just has a runny nose, Allium cepa would be the one that I would pull and try that. And then for those cases where there's just a lot of mucus, like excessive mucus out the nose, swallowing, all that, I would look at Hydrastis 30C. So those are the ones that I see the most frequently for the allergy season. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. If they're coughing because of allergies, there's a few different remedies. You can look at Bryonia, especially if the cat is more asthmatic. Calcarea carbonica is another one good for if there's allergies and lung related stuff. So that one's a good one you can check out. And then if it's just some phlegm and coughing, look at Spongia 30C. So those would be like my major go-tos. If you have, one more I'm just thinking of is if you have some sneezing with a little bit of congestion and it feels like the cat is trying to blow the nose and it's not helping, it's not clearing, then it's probably going to be Natrum muraticum. So, and again, you can use 30C with any of these. That's kind of the general potency that you can use for most conditions. If it's not chronic, deep-seated stuff, then I would just go with a 30C potency. So Vicky says omelet and Bootsy scratch. Yeah, and here's another thing. It may not be allergies that they're scratching from. It may be anxiety or nervousness because we have learned, and I learned this from Julianne Thorne. I'm not going to take credit. I learned it from her. When cats are anxious or nervous, they can scratch. It's probably like a self-soothing kind of situation, maybe perhaps. So Look at the energy in your environment. Are they fearful? Are the cats fearful? Are they relaxed and calm and happy? Or are they acting kind of scared? If so, it could be that they're just anxious, and see what you can do to alleviate that. Now, there's a whole nother set of homeopathic remedies that you can use for emotional stuff. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but yeah, just do some exploration and become a really good observer of your environment and look at things from your cat's perspective. That's probably one of the best pieces of advice I can give you. If you're not quite sure what's going on, just sit and observe them. See how their energy is. Watch their behavior. Watch their appetite. Are they eating really well? Are they kind of wishy-washy on their food a little bit? How is their mood? Do they seem happy and real upbeat? Are they more withdrawn and maybe sad, or not engaging? Just look at all these different things. And I want to give credit to Dr. Jeff Feynman for the BEAM protocol. That's behavior, energy, appetite, and mood. And those are just really simple things that you can just do a daily check-in on your cats and check their behavior. Look at their energy, look at their appetite, look at their mood, and just kind of rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. And where would you put them today? And that's just a really simple way to assess the well-being of your cats and see where they are. And you'll know when it's time to intercede and we've got to do something. When those numbers really start to drop, especially if you have 2 or more that are little low in that scale. If you're doing the scale in the estimation, then it's probably time to go see your vet. Okay, so I've got a few people here. Again, if you're watching, drop a comment over here. I'd love to see where you're watching from, and I'd love to say hello to you guys. And I do have Instagram up here, so that's why I keep looking up a little bit, because I've got Instagram up, and I can see StreamYard. I'm sorry, that's the platform. I can see my Facebook and YouTube comments over here on the streaming platform. So I wanted to just make a really big announcement in case you haven't heard. I am getting married in 4 weeks. May 2nd is my wedding date. And then about 4 weeks later, we are packing up and moving to Virginia Beach, Virginia for at least 2 years. My fiance is a career military guy. And so we are going to move for his career progression. So that's what's going on. And the other thing that I wanted to announce to you guys is, because of all these life changes and everything that's happening over the next couple months or so, especially with this big move and everything, I've decided to retire. I want to just take a break. I want to retire. I want to just be home. I want to take care of the cats. I just want to relax. I want to enjoy being a wife again and just enjoy everything that comes along with that. So that's my plan. And I know it's probably a shock for some of you. But I also have to tell you one more thing. April Fools, I'm not retiring. It's April Fool's Day. So yeah, don't hate me too much, but yeah, you know me, I'm not going to retire anytime soon. That was just to see if you were paying attention. So sorry if I gave some of you a little shock and a heart attack, but no. Happy April Fool's Day. If you saw the announcement we put together for the show, it did say Happy April Fool's Day. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions. I know Vicky's here, and we've worked on her kitties recently, and she has some environmental stressors called spirits that like to visit and irritate her kitties. But she says, "Oh my gosh, I know, it's a lot." So yeah, let me know what would you guys like to discuss tonight? Because if you don't have any questions, it's going to be a really short show, and I'm just going to go finish working. I had some more work to do tonight. Tony is here. She goes, "Hi Pam, is it okay to fall back to a good quality canned cat food to mix with frozen raw venison and bone that is not balanced. The canned food is identity beef. Big sigh of relief. You can certainly mix foods. You can mix wet with raw foods. Absolutely. Um, Especially, I know you're going through this transition with the food that you really want not available right now, but it's also good, excuse me, it's good to mix things up a little bit because of situations like this, and you don't get into a situation where the food you want is no longer available and then you're like, oh geez, now I'm stuck. So it's good to have multiple brands that we can pull from. And absolutely, identity is a great beef recipe. Um, so sorry, I'm laughing at something Vicky said. But yeah, absolutely. You can the frozen raw venison and bone recipe that you have is, I think, a prey model diet, if I'm remembering correctly. And you can certainly mix some of the just give a little bit of that with the beef identity, which is fine. And then if you wanted to get the Alnutrin for prey model diets, you can just add that to make it complete and balanced, the raw food portion. So give it a try. I hope. Well, let me know if you are. I think you might already be doing that. So how is Colt doing with the food? Is he liking it? Is he transitioning okay? Because I know that was a big concern of yours. So yes, and Vicky said, "Oh my gosh, she says you scared me about how to canary." You mean a conniption? A canary. What does a canary mean? I think I know what you mean, but I just want to make sure. Yeah, you thought I was going to retire. Yeah, I would love to. Honestly, I would love to retire. This is my second career, um, but it's not time yet. It's not time yet. Things are things are moving in two different directions with the business, and taking on distribution is a whole new world to me with the Rompy Cats and Rompy Dogs, and it's a whole new level of responsibility and just work requirements that are very, very time demanding. So it is a challenge to juggle both sides of what I do. So so yeah, I'm not ready to pick a side, in other words. So we're going to give it a little time, and we're going to keep growing and keep working on it. I did hire an accountant, so thank you guys for helping me spread the word. Last month, I know that was one of the first things that I said I'd put out, that I needed an accountant. So I did hire somebody, and I love her because I absolutely loathe accounting work, and it's a time sucker for me. I don't have the time to be sucked, you know? So my brain just doesn't go around numbers like that. So anyway, thank you for helping me find an accountant. If I could, now I need a sales team. If you know anybody who's really, really good in sales and loves cats and dogs and maybe just a pet lover in general, have them reach out to me because I need to hire salespeople for distribution. So if you're watching and it's not probably going to be full time. I mean, you can make it as full time as you want to, but if you're curious about talking about opportunities and where you live, especially if you're in a very urban, pet-centric area of the United States, where there's a lot of independent pet stores, then that's where we need to be focusing our efforts as a distribution. So if you know anybody, let me know. Have them reach out to me because it's really, really hard being a one or two man show. Okay, Vicky says, are you doing your own food? Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I currently feed Viva Raw, Darwin's small batch. That's what's in my freezer right now. And from time to time, we'll do Quest from Steve's Real Food. We'll do Northwest Naturals. So I try to mix all of those. But the two main ones are the small batch And right now, Viva Raw, I'm about to get a shipment from Darwin's, I think tomorrow. More food is coming in. So yeah, I don't make my own food. I just defrost it and put it in the bowls and on their little pet platters, and then that's what we're doing. I do add raw goat's milk from Green Juju into their food every day, twice a day. It's such an excellent product for gut health, um, and supporting microbiome. And then we do food toppers. So I like to just take some freeze dried treats and crumble it on top. They do get sardines once a day. So it's kind of a production, but we've got it down to a system. And I'm constantly changing their proteins because Tony, you can appreciate this when you figure out what your cat likes. You just gotta you got to have multiple options so you don't run into the oh my gosh, I can't get this, I can't get his favorite food, or I can't get the food that works. So you just having multiple options really helps, when it comes to feeding our cats. And Vicky says, I was just wondering about distribution. Yeah, so the Rompy Cats toy line was growing and getting it into retail stores, and then as well as the dog rope. So we're under production, are starting this week for production for the soft tug ropes. So yeah, it's distribution is not something that I went to school to learn. This has been mentorship from the manufacturer and how she's been handling things, and so it's everything is, except for the sales part. That's the easy part. It's all the other stuff that's a challenge, and why I had to hire an accountant because I can't keep up with it. Okay, a perfect whisper join. So hello, and how are you? Thank you for being here. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns or comments about your cats. That's what we're here to talk about tonight. I did talk about a little bit about allergy relief for the cats and for you. Some people are really struggling with allergies. That's gave you some tips, so you can go back and watch the very beginning. Tony says the venison he loves, and it seems to love him in epic poop daily. Yes. That's awesome. So now you have two protein options, venison and beef, which is amazing. And I'm so glad he likes it. That's awesome. See, it all works out. Sometimes we focus on, well, let me just rephrase. We worry about things that will resolve themselves if we just take a step back and take a deep breath and trust the process. Trusting the process is not always easy, right? But the more you learn to trust the process and listen to your intuition, the easier it gets. And things will just, it's like you're walking in the dark, and you have a lamp in front of you, a lantern or something, and you can only see one step at a time in front of you, and you just have to take one step at a time and trust that light will continue to light your path as you move forward. But we can't get stuck in the fear part. We have to keep moving forward and just trust. And just remember, the things that we learn along the way are lessons we were meant to learn, whatever that is. Some lessons are much more difficult and more painful than other lessons, but that's part of our journey and what we're here to do. So listen to your intuition, trust the process, and just take one step at a time. You don't have to know all the answers right now. Sometimes they will just reveal themselves to you as you go along. So it's just little things that I've learned. I've learned to trust. And I'm going to do a little plug here. Deanne and I are going to get back together again for the April podcast. It's going to have to be pre-recorded because of a timing issue. But we are going to talk about manifestation in the fire horse energy of this year and what that looks like for better or for worse. And we're going to tie in personal stories because Goodness knows I have an incredible personal story with all of this, and she's got some really cool stories that she wants to share with kind of her journey this year, my journey over the past year, and then this year. So that's going to be the podcast topic later this month, and it's going to be the last Thursday of the last Monday of the month that will stream live. So as you guys watch the podcast, let me know your thoughts. If share them if they speak to your heart. Drop comments so we can see what you're thinking, what you liked, and if you have show topic ideas, let us know. Drop that in the comments or send us a DM on social media and let us know what kind of topics you want to hear about or learn about. I have reached out to a couple people for show ideas, so I'm working on a few of those for upcoming episodes. So it will be interesting to see. Though the episode in June will be very interesting because I will be in a new house in a new state by then, hopefully unpacked by then. So yeah, the show must go on. Business has to continue even during a move. So it's going to be really challenging for a couple weeks. I will be taking a couple weeks off in June just to do all those things because it's a huge move. The good news is the Army is packing and moving us. I don't have to pack anything. I'm just going to stand around and tell them what to do. Just and make sure they label everything and they pack it well because I want them to. I want everything to arrive in one piece, not two or multiple. So that's always fun. Okay. What is it? Caro Ortiz, C.A. Ortiz joined. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Let me know, again, if you have questions, you want to talk about issues tonight. That's why we're here. It's already 7:30. I feel like I've talked the whole time. What questions do you guys have? Let's talk about holistic cat health. I know we did a little bit of the food question for Tony. Is there anything else that you guys have questions on? If not, I'll wish you guys a happy Easter. I know Easter is coming up this weekend. Do y'all have any plans? What are your cats? Do you celebrate Easter with your cats? Do you do like a little a special treat for Easter? Do you give them an egg hunt? Do you give them an Easter bunny to go find or a toy or anything like that? I think that's fun. I think I have a stuffed Easter bunny around here somewhere. I need to pull that out for Easter this weekend. We're actually not going to be in town, but the kitties have a great cat sitter. She comes over and takes care of them. So yeah. Okay. So she says, C.A. Ortiz says, hi, happy Easter. The cats get treats. She gets treats. Oh, I love it. Yes, awesome. I think it would be really fun to put cat treats inside the little plastic eggs and see, or something like that where they can smell it and maybe they can kind of paw at it and try to open the eggs. I don't know how tight that closure is, if they could still smell it if it's in there, but that would be really fun to make an Easter basket and put all the little cat treats inside, and then maybe you help open them up and throw them on the floor and make them go chase it or whatever. I think that would be a fun little Easter game for our cats, right? So yeah, what else do you guys do for Easter? Do you do anything else special with your kitties? It's a good, okay, so it's springtime, right? She goes, yes, I can try something like that. That would be really fun. If you do get it on video, post it and tag us so we can see it, because I would love to see that. It's easy when you have kids, right? Because if you have children, you're probably already buying you're either coloring eggs or you're buying the plastic eggs and having treats inside. So yeah, if you've already have them on hand, that's easy. Okay, what else was I going to cover tonight? Let's see. I'm going through the comments and make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's see. What else? Okay. Tony, can you tell me the brand of the frozen raw venison? I can't remember, but if we can pop that into the comments, that would be great because maybe other people could benefit from trying that brand. Um, was it Primal? No, that wasn't Primal. It was another brand from your pet store. Because it was a chub prey model. It's on a brand you hear of every day. That's why I'm drawing a blank. Let's see. I know there's about a 8-second lag or 10-second lag in the stream, so give you a second to respond. Okay. Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun. We're 30 minutes in. If you guys don't have any additional questions or comments or anything like that, we'll go ahead and shut it down, and I'll let you get back to your evening. Oh wait, Vicky says, question, could Almond's mouth problem be a mold issue plus the virus? Just wondering. Well, I mean, mold can always be a stressor for the immune system, but do you know if you have mold in your house? Because I'd be shocked if you did. It's never come up before energetically, so I doubt that. Stress itself, here's another thing. Stress weakens the immune system. So when you have viral issues that can flare up, a lot of that can be triggered by stress, just emotional stress. And we know you've had a few spirits flying around in your home, bothering them of late, right? So that's it could always just be emotional stress that stresses the immune system that triggers the flare up and all that on his mouth. So that's I would be shocked if you had mold, because if you had mold in your house, then you would be symptomatic as well. You would be having immune system challenges. You would not be feeling well or have some kind of respiratory issues as well. I think he just said I told him to leave again. I know they don't listen. Well, they leave and then they come back. I've had 3 of my spirit cats come today. 3, and they're bothering Aylin, and I'm just like over it. They're not listening to me when I say go away. They keep coming back, so I get it. Tony said it's Blue Ridge Raw. Okay, that's right. Yeah, because it's not a brand that we hear a lot about. But if you guys want to check out a good prey model food, Blue Ridge Raw would be great. And again, you can make it complete and balanced with. There is one of the formulations from Alnutrin, which is a premix, is specifically for a prey model diet. So it doesn't have the organ meat in it because your mixture has the organ meat. So you can always make a prey model diet complete with some kind of a premix like that. So yeah, it's just good to have options, right? And until he gets used to it, you can just add a little bit of the frozen raw into the wet. That's perfectly fine too. Let me see if there was anything else up here that I don't want to miss. Okay, awesome. Okay. She says it comes in a 2-pound tube. Yep, that doesn't surprise me. Chubs are typically a large package. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, anything else you want to chat? Do you want to touch base on before we wrap up? Just trying to see. I just want to make sure I got everything. I can't think of anything else at the moment. So, yeah, we will pack it up and wish you guys a great evening. Have a wonderful Passover. Have a wonderful Easter. if you celebrate those holidays, we wish you lots of love and happiness. And just here comes spring, right? So April is going to be a really cool month for me as we get closer and closer to our big day, first part of May 2nd. So yeah, it's going to be a little busy. You got a lot of things going on our end, but we'll be as present as we can on social to kind of give you guys little peeks and insights to our little family and what's going on over here. And in the meantime, if you have questions, drop them in the comments or shoot me a DM. And we will be back I will see you guys the first Wednesday of May. We'll have wedding catch up by then. It will have just happened. So anyway, you guys have a great evening. I hope you got something out of the allergy section. Hope that helps. And we'll see you next month for another Q&A. In the meantime, make a list of questions as you think about them over the next few weeks, and then bring them to the show next time, and we can go over things. Okay, so until then, we will see you next time. Y'all have a great evening. Thank you so much for being here. Bye now.